Hello and welcome to another episode of Ad's Metal Detecting. I'm Ads, and on today's episode we've got two group digs. We've got the first one in Norhtgate, which you will see first around the Gosberton area, and then the second one is Surfleet, where I am today. So I'm doing the intro in the middle of the field. I like to always put the group logo where I go digging on, so that's them, that's digging history there and all the details, so that you can go on digs if you want to with them. Based in South Lincolnshire, they'll all be in the description. Now today's two episodes are put into one simply because I want to have enough footage for one episode, rather than releasing 10 or 15 minutes here and then 10 or 15 minutes here. So you've got a full episode with two group digs. As always, we are sponsored by Dragon Detecting. You see their logo just there, and if you are very lucky you can get a nice shiny discount using my code, which is just there, which is AMD10. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. It does help the channel grow as we head towards 500 and that free giveaway for all you lovely subscribers. So get subscribed now. I've rabbited for long enough, so let's get on with the two group digs, and you may see a little interlude in between. But the first one coming up now is in Norhtgate. I'll see you soon. Well, we won't be back at Gosberton without a little bullet. 3 visits. I think we're on about 16, 17 of these now. Just from down there. On to the next. Those button and bullet days. Another signal there. In the 40s. 49 I think it was. It's a button. There we go. But it's a faceless one again. But let's keep going. See what else we can find. Low numbers 789. And this is all we've got. Now you see this marble effect there, and then on the side encased in something. Now I guess that might be a piece of jewellery. A broken bit, but a bit. You see that? A little bit of decoration on the side there. So I think that might be off a little pendant, potentially. It's broken, but that looks like a piece of jewellery to me. See how that bit shines just there. But we'll get that little spray and we'll see. Let's have a look. There we go. Gosberton's known for them. So, what are we on? I'm losing count. 17, 18, last 3 visits to here. But it's another target, so I'll keep going. On to the next. Alright, let's move away from this area, because that's bullet number 3. To be expected. But I don't want to start a bullet run like last time where we had 13. But, you know, there's targets to dig here. I know 3 hammers come up today already, so let's keep persevering. On to the next. 52, 53 just there. And it looks like our first coin for the day. Just there. So let's get this a good clean. Let's see what we've got. So, if I look at that, it is absolutely scrubbed. There is absolutely nothing on that either side. We can see a little bit of a rim maybe on that. Very thin. But, coin's a coin, as they say. So, let's get on to the next. Just put this up in the 25. I thought it was just a little bit of rubbish, but you see that little bit of a design on there? Those little stars that's just on there. It was broken, but this was something. Let's get a little bit of squirt on there. Let's see what it is. See if we can decipher. Looks like maybe part of a cat badge or something. Let's have a look. It all cleaned up as much as I can here. You see those little circles with stars in there, and then some kind of ribbony bit in the bottom. And my guess is it will be a badge of some kind, but that's a lot of design on that bottom bit. You see those. Now the inside does need a little bit more cleaning, but I would guess sort of like a cat badge or something. But if you know what this is, please put that in the comments if you recognise what it could be off. I mean, that could be Phwoar, but I'm only guessing at this point, so if you've got a clue what that is, give me a quick shout in the comments and we'll get on to the next. Right, wife's onto the silver. There you go. It's blank. It's going to be a love token. It's got a slight bend. I'm not sure if that's because of the weakness of the coin or what. Had to clean up. There we go. You see it's very brittle down this middle bit there, but it's blank on both sides. So it potentially would have been a love token, but it's a bit of silver for today. Nice bit of weight on that coin there. But we're on silver. What else have we got? Got a little George V. What date's on that? 1920. Really nice condition. Let's get that up near the camera, look. There we go, look at that. Turn it over. And then what we'll do, we'll catch the rest in the roundup. That's a couple of coins off today for the wife. Well, it's definitely a bullet day. One about 7 today, I think. I think wife's found 2 or 3, so it's definitely a bullet day. Into the pot it goes, and on to the next. Phwoar. Phwoar. This is my roundup, and look at all these bullets we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 there. Look, these little bits here. That's that little bit that I wasn't sure of. That little bit of design on it, so if you know that, give me a quick shout. We've got this little button here, the faceless one here, and then the Phwoar one there with a little design on it there, and then the coin that we thought was absolutely battered is actually a Vicky halfpenny. Don't know if we can get this to spin round and show you, but it is actually a Vicky halfpenny. We can't get a date off that. It is fairly worn and battered. And then the find for me was this one here, which is a spinner off a fob watch, with what we think is a little bit of silver, tiniest bit of silver around it there. But that's I'm happy with that. It's very nice. It's a shame there's nothing left of the other part of it, but that's really, really nice. And then my wife has had a field day and put me to shame. But little pigeon ring, broken part of a buckle, a bit of a mount there, some buttons, and then we've got this George V penny. Really nice detail on that one. And then the silver, which we will not be able to see what that is. It looks to be a silver coin. Looks like it's been a love token because it's very, very worn. But piece of silver, probably the find of the day really. And that is it for the roundup. So I will switch back round, and in a minute you'll all see me. That wind is kicking up. I don't know if you can hear me. We've just finished that first dig in Northgate. We're now going to move on to what is today's dig essentially, which is in Surfleet. So what you'll see now, hope you enjoyed the first part of the group digs. The second one's coming up now. Sit tight, enjoy another group dig as we go searching in Surfleet. So we've been going about an hour, maybe not even that, 45 minutes. Got this little button here, nothing on it there at all. Got the shank, but nothing on it at all. Then we have another little one. We've got some design on that one. See on there, I'm going to get that cleaned up in a little bit. We'll see what's on there. It's pretty hard at the moment because there's hundreds of people knocking about, as you may have seen on the earlier video. Big broken button just there. Might be something on that, but we'll see. Another little button there, nothing on it. And as you can see, lots of buttons, and that suggests that there might have been some shodding on here. For those that don't know, surplus clothing after the war was laid down onto the fields, and once it disintegrated, it was ploughed in, and that's why we have lots of buttons in certain places. And there, thought we were onto a coin. Tis fairly fit. You see there's a button with some gilding on the back. Another button here which will be military as we look at that, but we'll get that cleaned up in a little bit. See, there's a little bit of design, and I can see a little bit of a crown that might be popping up just there, so probably a general button. And then we have this, what would have been a little belt mount. So just there, you can see the affixing just there. But all these I'm going to get cleaned up in a little while when I'm off on a little space on my own, because it is very crowded. And we'll have a look at some of these when we've cleaned them up. So let's keep going and on to the next. Another plain button. And unfortunately we might have to dig a lot of these to get to the good stuff, so we will see. But that's the next target, and we'll see what comes up next. 57, bouncing all the way up to 61 in places. I'll take you down. It's just there. Now let me flip this camera and we'll get you a better shot. So there we go, that's the date there. So you're 18.99 just there, 1 penny, nice condition. And there's Veilhead. See if we can get this a little bit better cleaned up. That's our first coin for the day. So we are all, well, as much as I can clean up on here, but it's beautiful condition. You see there, 1 penny, 18.99, Victoria Veilhead. First coin for the day. So on to the next. Guys, we're onto a buckle. Look at that, 51.52, and it's a nice little one as well. Bring it up just there. There we go, little spectacle buckle. So let's give it a little clean up. We'll see what we've got and get some more detail. Alright guys, there we go. It's a little spectacle buckle. Just there. And that will be medieval to post-medieval. In period, I would hazard a guess medieval. Looking at it. For size comparison, there we go. I can't see any details on it. No design. But it is heavily corroded away. It's not very smooth at all. But we're on to another nice little find up here where I've wondered, and where this sort of thing is, there should be some more good stuff. So, a little spectacle buckle. There we go. Give you some detail on that. Well, it's another little find, so let's get on to the very next. So, I said I'd find a quiet spot to settle down. Just cleaned up one of the buttons. That's the design there. You can see the 3 lions just on there. I'll bring that in closer. 1, 2, 3 on there. Little squashed shank on there, but there's a little fine there which is got some design on it. For viewers who've watched before, most of my buttons don't come up with design, so it's nice to have that one. And then we've got this one here. This position right, see the crown there. I'm not quite sure what's under it. Bring that in closer. Needs another little clean up. I think it looks like an eagle to me, but I could be wrong, and I'm sure plenty of people will correct me in the comments. I can't quite see. I can see the crown, but there's a military button just there. And then we've got this little piece of what would be a little mount. So I can't see any more detail on there. If your eyes can see better than mine, there might be something at the top there. But we can see there where it had gone onto the belt just there. And there we go. The rest are just plain, but I think you are all caught up. So that's there, and that's as fine so far. Well, let's keep moving and see whether there's anything else we can find. I think we're on to a second coin. 53 all the way up to 58 just there. I'm sure you can hear that because that's loud. I'll take you down. We're just there. So I haven't seen what it is yet. Well, that's what we've got. So let me switch cameras. So, got a coin just there. Don't know what it is yet. Give it a clean and let's see what details we can get off there. So I can't make out what that is. It's definitely a coin. We've got some detail. There's some writing just there. You can see just going off that way. But I can't make out much more detail. I can't make out much on the other side. I don't know if I can see a bust or that's my eyes. But we'll see what that is. You see what I can mean there, just there? We'll see what that is. And we'll catch it in the roundup. Right guys, excuse me if you can hear the wind. Don't ever get old. Thank you to Emre who can see it all, and I can't see an absolute thing, but he's just seen that that's a George II, so you can see a bus just there. And then the writing round there. So let's keep going on here, because we've had those 2 buckles. We now go back to George II, the Victoria. That's all come off one line. Everybody's dispersed away from here. I have got this bit to myself. So I'm going to stay up here and I'm going to see what else we can find. But happy days. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's an hammered. And I refrain from saying where there's Georgian there's hammered, because I'd convinced myself we weren't going to get one today, and I was fine with that. But I'm looking at that, and I could make myself look like a right turnip here, but I think that looks hammered to me. So before we clean it all up, I've switched the camera on. Let's give you a ID. So you're on 12s, 11s, 12s. Let's get this cleaned up. Right guys, I'm going to have to be very, very careful here because it is very, very brittle. Can you see that little bit? So I've not cleaned this up too much. Just enough to confirm we are on the hammered. Of what flavour, I cannot tell you as yet, because I want to be very, very gentle with it. But if you look there, we are on the hammered. And that is very, very welcome. So, where there's Georgian, there's hammered. Let me have another clean up off camera and let's see whether I can get any more detail off this. Okay. So, we just dug down on this one. Coming up as a 2627. And there we go. Getting detail, and that's a bag seal. And like many of the bag seals that we get, there's no detail whatsoever on there that I can see. There might be something you can see just there, a little bit of detail. So maybe, but it's just a little bag seal. And we'll keep moving on. And if by magic, two will appear, but this one looks like it might have a little bit of detail on it. Let's have a quick wipe and see what we can see. So there we go. Does that say JA? I can see just there. And then on the other side it looks like C or G. Give that bit a little bit of a rub. So that GE, and then some little bits of design on there. But we're on to another bag seal. Literally nobody is really been up here, but we've had Georgian, hammered, buckles, bag seals. There is stuff up here to find. So let me go and have something to eat and then we'll carry on. Right, so I'm out with the wife again. She's just shouted me and we've got another hammered. Well, she's got another hammered, should I say. So she's always the last one off the field. She's right up at the top. So we're going to make us way there and see what she's got. Can you see her? Yeah, I'm going to point out how far she's away. Last one on the field. Bear with me. Right. Right, all the way over there in the second field. Yeah, you see that little white house there just in front of there? That's how far she's away, because she's always the last off the field. Perseverance is key. Oh, dear me. Must have walked half a mile back up.
I have cleaned it up a bit, but it looks like it's got a small hammered.
Right guys, just arrived with my wife here and she's found this hammered. But look, just there. That looks like there's something else lodged in, so she may have found 2 in 1. I actually think she has found 2 in 1. Let me give you that detail there, look. So we're going to give it a quick spray up now, and the other one may loosen, but I want to get a photo of it just exactly like this, so bear with me. So, wife has just found this one here, and then just lodged inside it is this one here. So we've got what looks like a little farthing there. I'll give that a little spray up. So it has come loose through the cleaning, but we have 2 hammers. Let's get these fully cleaned up and then we'll see if we can get some pictures. Alright guys, this is as much as we're going to clean on here. We've got to get some details off. That's a farthing just there, but looks like a little bit of a pocket spill potentially, and then it's just wrapped itself in it. Probably is a little pocket spill, but that is absolutely amazing. And at the last ditched attempt, she's won for today. We will clean those up a bit better and we'll see what they are. If you're not part of the Facebook group, come and join, because I'm sure she will be posting them up there later. But that's amazing. So 3 hammers for the day, buckles, and a little pocket spill at the end. That's amazing. We best get back to the car and do the outro, but that's a really nice way to finish the day. Amazing. Alright guys, on to the roundup. You've seen the plenty of the buttons that we got earlier. We've got the 2 bag seals just there. We've got the buttons, various there. I do like that one with the 3 lions that's on there. And then we've got the little 2 buckles, little spectacle one, and the mount. And then the coins, that's another button. Coins there, got the modern 10p, George II, and the Victoria. And then my find of the day, which is that little hammer there. But let's move on to the wife's, because she's got a bit of a buckle, another one of those bag seals, plenty of buttons there. And then we move on to the coins. So we've got this ship penny, half penny should I say, George V, little modern halfpenny, and then I don't think we're going to get much off that. We'll have a quick look later, but the find of the day is this one. It's a hammered in a hammered, and I am not joking. If you haven't seen the footage, go back and have a quick look, because this came up like this. It was actually more in than that, and it's a penny with a farthing inside it. So this would have been a pocket spill. It would have fell into the ground as 2. Might have been more, but it fell in as 2 that we know about. And this one over time would have clasped round it in the ground, and then it would have just sat there for 800 years until my wife dug it up, and then it's come up like that. And then when we've sprayed it, obviously it's come apart. We're going to leave it like that. It's not going to be bent back out of shape. It's going to be displayed like that because that's part of the history of it. because it fell like that. But I'm going to spin you back round. We're going to do the outro, so I'll see you in a second. Right guys, what an epic day we have had today. We have just finished at Surfleet. You'll have seen that I found the hammered coin earlier, battered, bruised and bent, but it's a hammered and cannot complain. We had the spectacle buckle, a little bit of broken buckle, the George the Second, various other bits and bobs. I think I was quite happy for the day when I picked up a couple of buckles early on, but in my mind I knew in that area, once we were picking up those things, that there were hammers round there, and while everybody else disappeared, and yes, people found things elsewhere, I knew for a fact there was going to be stuff under there. So we more or less had that bit all to ourselves. But later on in the day, I was walking back. You will have seen on the video, I was around about half a mile away when I got the phone call saying that she'd found a hammered. So I've marched half a mile back, and you will have seen the epic find that came up. I've never seen anything like that. I did wonder what she was talking about when she says I've got a hammered in a hammered. I think there's another hammered or whatever she said at that point. But it certainly is an amazing find. I am thoroughly jealous that I did not find that, but also proud because that is a one great find. Now, I do want to say something. We would want to keep it in one because that's part of the history. Unfortunately, what was holding that in was a lot of dry muck, and it wasn't the coin that is pressed holding that in. Now, what it will be, and I don't know whether this is clear on the video, the coin is in the hole, it's a coin spill, the farthing and the penny, and by fortune's chance it has curled over and the farthing's been caught, and over time the weight has kept that together, and it hasn't been hit by the plough or any modern machinery or anything until it's been unearthed 800 years later. Now when that's come up, you'll have seen the pictures that I put up when it came up, and you can see it looks that it's in situ, as though the coin's hold. It's not the coin that's holding it. If there was no muck in that coin, those two coins would be separate. So it isn't a deliberate thing. When cleaning the coin, the other coin came loose. Now, that doesn't mean we don't keep those coins together and they're treated as two separate coins. I just want to clear that up. What that means is those two coins will stay together. They will be reported to the fines liaison officer. They will take care of them from that stage. They will be it's an Eddie penny and it's an Eddie farthing. They are going to be classed as treasure, and when the processors come back, they're going to come back to my wife, and forever they will be kept together in her collection. If the remotest chance they don't come back, which I very much doubt, then they will remain together also. So they won't be split up. They will not be going elsewhere or treated as two separate coins. I want to assure you they are going to be classed together, but I cannot keep them together. It is simply impossible because it's dry muck that is wedged that was holding them, and as that loosens off dry, it's going to loosen up. So when we were doing the cleaning process just to remove the muck off the out one, the other one has come free. There's nothing I can do about that. That is just detecting and the fines. They've been in the ground for 800 years being rattled about and have stayed like that. But they will stay like that still. Now, we've been on the dig with Digging History. It's been an absolutely, thoroughly enjoyable day. And I don't mean because I found a hammered. Before I was finding the hammered, it was an amazing day. Yes, there was a lot of trash, but between that, there was some really, really good finds. And the little spectacle buckle, the George II, those sort of things were coming up. The hammered is just a little bit of the icing on the cake, but it was a thoroughly enjoyable day. 9 times out of 10, I love going on digs with Digging History. There's always going to be an odd one where it's not great. Nobody says that every dig is great, but I thoroughly enjoy most digs with them. So, if you are anywhere near South Lincolnshire at all, go and check them out. I travel maybe an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, depending on where it is, to go and dig with them. So if you're in that sort of vicinity, it's highly recommended. So that's their logo there. In the description you will see a link to their group. You'll be able to go and see all the previous finds. You will also be able to book yourself on digs that are coming up. I know they've got one on Bank Holiday weekend Friday. I don't know whether that's full up because I'm not attending that one. They've got one on Bank Holiday Monday. I don't know if that's full up. I'm not attending that one. I will be on the weekender. I am booked in on the weekender. That one is limited to 60 and has sold out. We're almost at that 500 subscriber mark. If we aren't there when this video goes live, it will not be long now. I think we need 19 when I'm looking at it. So if you haven't subscribed, if you have got this far, if you have enjoyed the content, if you want to see more content and better content, you can help my channel grow, and I would really appreciate it. So hit that subscribe button, help my channel grow, and we'll get on to that giveaway, which there are some amazing prizes. As soon as we hit that 500, a video will go up as previous ones where it will go through all the details. Once the details are put up on YouTube, it will be there for a week, and you have a week to enter. But I will put all the details of what you need to do and how you can try and win those prizes, those rewards, those free giveaways for you guys as a big thank you. I do appreciate each and every one of you that has watched, commented, that stays to watch the entire thing, that comes and says hello on the digs, absolutely everything, and the support we get from Jordan and everybody else, including some people I won't mention yet because that's part of the giveaway. As always, we're sponsored by Dragon Detecting. That's their logo there, and if you're very lucky, you can get 10% off most items using my code, which is AMD10. That will get you a discount on that, but there also is merchandise, which you'll just see just here. I'll just put that on. There's things like hoodies, polos, t-shirts, hats, caps. It's all on there and more to come. Fancy any of that, go and make a purchase. It is great detecting wear, so you can go and have a look at that. We've been on a dig with Dig in History. That's their logo there. If you fancy coming on a dig in South Lincolnshire with Dig in History, after you've seen some of the stuff that's come up over the past few digs we've had, there's a link in the description that will take you to the Facebook group, and you'll be able to book yourself on some of those digs. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable day. Big absolute thank you, and I will see you on the next episode. Thank you.